Hi, I'm Amanda Jones, and you're watching the first video in a series of videos about fractions. In this first video, I want to introduce you to a site called Mathagon that has a Polypad in it, and it's a great way to look at virtual fraction manipulatives. Sometimes when we go to virtual manipulatives, it's not much better than the real thing, and I honestly prefer real, tangible, hands-on manipulatives in the classroom, but sometimes we don't have access to those, or sometimes we want a little bit more capabilities, and I believe that this site does that. So I have it pulled up here, and you can click on fractions, and you can either use fraction bars or the fraction circles. I prefer fraction circles, and that way when you see the whole, you can really see that it is a whole, whereas with a fraction bar, you're always having to compare back to the whole. So in order to understand that this is 1/2, you would have to see that it takes two of them to complete the whole, whereas it's just a little easier to see with our circles that that's half of the circle without really even needing to compare it back to the circle. So those are the two options here. Let's talk a little bit about what a fraction is and how it's represented through Polypad. So the fraction has two parts: the numerator, which is the top number, and the denominator, which is the bottom number. And what those represent, the numerator represents how many pieces are in that fraction, and you can see there's one piece here, and then how many pieces it takes of that size to fill the whole. And so because this is a 2 on the bottom, that means that 2 pieces would complete the whole. And so you can add another half here, and can rotate these and merge them together. And then you can see that it is the circle, and you can also rename. I like that here, that you can hit this second button and it'll rename it, and now you can see that it is the 1. We can also go down. So 1/2, you can see those 2 halves that make the whole, and here's 1/3. It takes 3 of them. The denominator is a 3. It takes 3 pieces to complete the whole, and then each piece is a single 1. We can do that again, and there's your fourths, your quarters. Takes 4 of them to complete the whole, and so on. We can just keep going down. Smaller and smaller fractions, meaning that unit fraction, that unit fraction is getting smaller and smaller. Now it's a little bit harder to see the numerator here, because it's hard to combine 2 pieces. This doesn't allow you to do that. You kind of have to just count them. So for instance, if I wanted to split this up and just talk about 2/10, I would have to actually pull out and see those 2 pieces, and that's 2/10 because there's 2 1/10. Okay, so that's what that 2 represents. That numerator, the top number, is how many pieces you're collecting in that fraction. How many unit fractions are there? And there's 2 there, or there's 3. Okay, and you can pull them out, merge them, and then you can rename into, see that those 4/10 is also 2/5. But it won't. It's always going to represent this program is always going to represent as unit fractions. Okay. All right. So that's what a fraction is, and it's the art of breaking. Fraction means to break, and so when you are fractioning something, you're breaking it, or fracturing something, you are breaking it, and we're breaking the whole into parts. So I hope you will continue along with me in this fraction journey as we look at adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions in this series. Thank you.